Hi everyone.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Red Men TV. It's the instant match reaction. It was muted very quickly there by Chris Page. Well done. It was Newcastle 0, Liverpool 0. It was a big, it was that noise. It was a big disappointment again, and unfortunately, I think over the course of a season, you're allowed to not win every game of football, but when you're in the midst of it and you draw and have disappointing draws back to back, it doesn't half feel like it gets on top of you. It feels like part of a wider problem and a wider malaise and all that. And look, it might yet prove to be, but what it is, because it's another disconnected from the West Brom game, but connected to a number of our away performances. It's another game where we've just not won a game away from home.
Yeah, I think it's funny, isn't it? Because I think probably the problems over the draws this season, it'd be easy to say it's Van Dijk, but it's not the defence that's the issue at the moment, is it? It's the strikers not finishing the opportunities that are being created for them, and that was certainly the case tonight, wasn't it? For all the talk about Nat Phillips and Reece Williams and who'd start, it wasn't them. It wasn't Nat Phillips' fault that we didn't win the game tonight. It was the fact that Mo has two clear-cut opportunities. The best one, he doesn't get it on target. Yeah. One's a great save from Darlow. Yeah. It was the fact that Roberto Firmino has 3 headers saved. It was the fact that Sadio Mane is not able to hit the target and is pulled down by his leg at one point by the goalkeeper when going for it. The chances that we created first half, for me, they all broke down before they became real clear-cut chances by maybe poor play from Sadio Mane or whatever. But second half, we had enough opportunities to put the game to bed. And, I think had the Thiago substitution maybe come a little bit earlier when Wijnaldum was made, but I also said on the play ratings, we probably could have played another 30 minutes and the form Darlow was in there, we might not have scored.
Yeah, it is a funny one, isn't it? Because, and I said this earlier, is that there's factors that we're not privy to, so inevitably for us, if Thiago's on the bench, start him. I don't think footy works like that, and I think we're all understanding enough, but there becomes degrees of nuance to which, whether we want to be accepting of this or not. My overriding feeling, because we are much better with Thiago in the team, and I don't want to put all this pressure on, like one guy's going to fix all our problems, because we're not that team anymore. But I do think we were, a player like him, and it's not just a player like him, by the way, it's also a player like Naby Keita and a player like Oxlade-Chamberlain to some extent, to go before all of them, are designed for games where you're looking to break down opposition players. You need a little bit more spark in the midfield, and we've been lacking that for a lot of those games. Jurgen Klopp would have... there's no way Jurgen Klopp wants to only play Thiago for 15 minutes in that match. He definitely wants to play him for more. And the hope with all this...
He didn't sign him to play 15-minute cameos for Liverpool, did
he? And given the choice there, there's no way that he would have willingly said, given... Because it's obvious how good he is. Like, we talk about match sharpness and players being a little off it, and we've seen Minamino.
Match sharp, Paul.
Mate, we've seen it. Like, when we saw it with like Minamino's taking a while to get up to speed. He's had some bad games, he's had some decent games for us. Kurt Jones took a while to get into the season. Trent still probably not really found his form, all told, this season long. The players who've had stuttering starts have taken a while to get up to speed. Like Oxlade-Chamberlain, 2 little cameo appearances, nothing really to show from him, and then Thiago strolls onto the pitch and he's our best player and just looks head and shoulders the best player on the pitch. I'm hoping that what we look back on is in a week's time too, when he is the star of the show against Manchester United. You get to look back on his cameo here and go, well, this is what started it, rather than going, isn't it disappointing that we didn't break Newcastle down? You're able to take a small positive from it, but it smacked of a game that was crying out for just a little bit more creativity and a little bit more control in the midfield.
It did, certainly. As I say, Thiago changed the game for us, like, absolutely, and he changed the angle of attack, and I think that was probably the best thing that he did. He changed us from this side-to-side football side to all of a sudden have a bit of cut and thrust to our attacks and our movements, and he seems to find space really easily. He seems to want the ball, whether there's a player near him or not. He moves the ball very quickly. He's got a picture in his head. You can see that. But again, I come back to it. We needed more creativity from the midfield. We needed our strikers to finish the opportunities today. That's what the real crux of the issue was today, not the creativity from the midfield.
It was a point you were making before, when you look at the disappointing draws and you can put them all together in this. and even like go back to like the Villa game, which is a disappointing defeat. This was we created, like Fulham being the prime example of this. We were just dreadful against Fulham, and we were very lucky to come away with a point in that regard. West Brom, we battered them in the first half. They offered nothing. They gave us a little bit more in the second half, and we ran out of ideas. And we were annoyed to drop. We dropped 2 points in that regard. We threw that one away. And this is another one where
it'll be bundled in as just another draw, but the performance was so much better today.
Yeah, it was particularly with Fulham. The problem is you got Crystal Palace is this massive outlier now, and I think tactically, I think we've approached this game quite similar to the Crystal Palace game. The difference is we don't take our chances, and we'll never know what happens when you take your chance, because we take the early chance against Crystal Palace and then we're crap for like half an hour, and then we scored the second, and then 10 minutes later, or within 10 minutes later, we scored the third, and the game's done. And then we come out and we score the fourth because Palace are all a bit all over the place by that point, and then we just rack up the goals. If you don't get that, if you don't take your chance, if you don't break through, and time again, there's the great ball from Mane to Firmino. He's in towards on goal, he jumps, and the ball comes off his foot the other way, and he has to turn, and then he's playing a blind ball to Robertson, who's steaming in, and it's right-footed, and the touch is poor. There's Bobby Firmino working his way free at the back post, heads wide. There's Salah, forced a great save from Dalot, so no criticism for Salah for that, but you mentioned it before. Salah is played through, he opens the ball onto his left foot, just hit the target. You know, if you force a save, you force a save.
He's normally really good at that, Salah, as well. He's normally just hits the target.
But he fluffs it. And here's the problem, because I've seen a bit of criticism for Salah, and it's fair, because when a footballer has a bad game, you're allowed to say, you had a bad game today, mate, or you were shit today. Say that. He was fucking, and he was shit today, folks, Salah, he was. But the problem is, and I don't think, and it's mad about Salah, because I just think there's just some people who just have never taken to him. And unfortunately, it's a very small minority of people for whatever reason. Because I just don't think I said this the other week, he's such an untidy footballer. He finishes untidily. He just does. You never have supreme confidence that Mo Salah's going to stride through and slot. But yet he tops our goal scoring charts every single season, and he's topping the Premier League goal scoring charts this season. So the problem is, there comes a point where you can demand more of Salah, but also can you? Because you clearly can, because he should just finish that, but he's also top goal scorer. It's so hard, because if he's not scoring, you kind of do have to shrug it off. The problem is that it's when he doesn't score what normally happens, Mane scores or Firmino scores, but if them two don't score...
Yeah, I think for me, probably the reason that Salah's maybe thought of in some small minorities like that is he doesn't have the all-round game of a Firmino and a Mane. Mm-hmm. Like, they can be so integral to everything we do for 90 minutes and not score, and everyone understands it. Salah's job isn't to be that guy. Salah's job is to pop up and score your goal. So
certainly today, because he's been brilliant this season doing all the other bits and pieces.
The game passed him by today, and it would have been so Mo Salah to walk away with the game passing by and 2 goals, like he probably should have had. The normal Mo Salah performance from last season, if you will. And that's not what he's given us today. He's given us a game where it passed him by for the most part, and his 2 opportunities also passed him by, or he passed them by this time.
Yeah, no, it was just a mad performance from Mo, and as I say, you have this. He's world class, and world class players, when they have off days, you don't. When shit players play well, you go, wow, isn't that great? But then when they go back to the mean, you go, oh, and then you can talk about, get rid of them or whatever. When world class players have off days, you'd have to shrug it off, because more often than not he has brilliant days and he scores lots and lots of goals for us. It goes back to the thing, it's a mad point, because we talk about the defence, but the away thing, and about finding mad ways to win. And winning by hook or by crook and stuff. And it's all like it all feeds into, so like, as much as Nat Phillips isn't to blame because we didn't concede a goal, kept a clean sheet, it's on the guys to finish the dinner at the other end. It's all the intangibles that you lose when you've just not got. It's not Nat Phillips' fault. It's actually not having Virgil van Dijk in so many times. It's a game where Virgil just crops up with a header from a corner and you win 1-0 and you go title winning form. This game was on the cusp of being that. Where, look, we did it, Divock Origi comes on, doesn't he, scores late 2 seasons ago, and we think that's like, and then it's the game before Vincent Kompany smashed one in against Leicester. But that's a moment that's snatched. We just didn't have that today.
And we haven't had that all season, really, have we? Not in the same way as last season. And, there's so many factors. I think fans is probably one of them. I think we perform better in front of fans, certainly. There's a lot of sides that could say that. I think our away form has been a bit iffy this season. Obviously, we're 9th in the form table away from home now. And, Amazon, the BT team, for Amazon did a stat about Liverpool's results, and we beat Sheffield United. These are the bottom 6 sides. We draw against Brighton, we draw against Fulham, we draw against West Brom, we draw against Newcastle. And that's not good enough for a side who wants to go and win the Premier League. And I think that's probably where a lot of people's fears come from. I probably don't share all of these fears, but I'm disappointed with the results regardless, and I think Liverpool should have won more of those games than they've drawn. But when that's what Liverpool were like a few years ago, not getting results against these sides, and that's where I think a lot of people's fears come from. But
it's recognisable,
yeah, of course,
because we look at it and go, I've seen this happen before, but the context in which it happened was completely different. You were saying this the other week about our understanding of football, our knowledge that we've accumulated from years of watching it just doesn't quite fit with what we're looking at us in front. For a start, we've never really been in this situation where we're going, oh my God, this is... Drawing 2 games back to back always normally feels a bit catastrophic, because we've done this before. Last 2 seasons we've done it, and we've normally done it in the Champions League, and you can tell it because I've done the books the last 2 years, and there's always a spell where everyone feels like we've fucked it, and it's normally in the group stage of the Champions League, but we're actually managing to win at home. Which actually what's happening now. We're dropping points in the Premier League, and we're going. It's like if you live in a house where your mum bollocks you for fucking dropping stuff on the floor, and you no one's in the house, and you drop something on the floor and you go, ah! And waiting for the bollocking, and it doesn't arrive. And that's kind of what this season's like. We're waiting for City to come fucking tearing up and fucking run us down, and it might yet happen, but I just don't think there at the minute.
I just don't think you can lose your head at this point of the season. There's too many games. It's been too weird, and we sound like a broken record. And I think we're right, though. It's all right being a broken record if you're right, or if you truly believe in what you're saying. And look,
I've sat here for over 10 years and made excuses for poor results for terrible Liverpool teams, and gone, well, Roy Hodgson games, trying to make the best of it and go, oh, okay, well, look, we look quite good, and this player look quite good, and blah 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 blah. Because I will always do that. Just natural glass half full people, generally speaking.
When it comes to the footy.
Well, when it comes to the footy.
But look, Liverpool are top of the table by 3 points.
Yeah.
And if Man United win their game in hand, I'd imagine we'd still be top of the table on goal difference. Now, there was a point 5 weeks ago where we weren't top of the table by 3 points, and we were joint top, and our goal difference wasn't good enough to be top of the table. So whatever you think over the last few weeks and stuff, Liverpool are now top of the table. We've got players coming back in Thiago, in Oxlade-Chamberlain, and James Milner, and Jota's a few weeks away, and all this type of stuff. So there's still reasons to be positive. Yeah, I think Liverpool hopefully sign a centre-back, and that puts some of our other fears at ease for a few more weeks and stuff like that. And Liverpool are going to win this league. Don't worry about it. Liverpool are going to win this league because we're the best side in it with the best squad.
We'll just see, won't we? Again, it's one of them. I feel the same, but there's no guarantees on it, is there? Because there's a lot of footy to be played, and I think it's just to be honest, it's a case of switching off to it as best as possible, because it's going to be up and down. Liverpool are not going to win every game between now and the end of the season, and people are talking about the draws, and they're right. If we'd won those last 2 games, we would be fucking miles away here. We would be so clear at the top of the league, it'd be almost ridiculous given everything we've gone through. But really, we've actually overperformed given, I think, all the things we've gone through, and we're just getting to a point of the season now where we're finally getting reinforcements, but they're not ready yet. Thiago is just coming back, and it's not about heaping all this pressure on, but it was so noticeable how much better we were with him in the side. It's so when we're able to rotate a bit more, it's just Curtis Jones, for a 19-year-old lad, has just played a bit too much football for his first proper season. We think about this again, Trent was up and down for years until the point that he became class, and even see now he's a young lad. He's struggled with fitness and form already this season.
And also, I think playing alongside either Reece or Nats probably his role slightly changed. He's got to be a bit more defensive minded.
Without a doubt. And also, again, Henderson's played a lot of footy. Gini's played a lot of footy. We had to get Milner back. I thought Milner had a good game in midfield. I think that's kind of been forgotten about. You know, he came in and didn't look like he'd been out for a spell. Proves how important he can be. We're going to need all of this kind of stuff going. The point is, for the first time in ages, we've been able to rotate the midfield, and we will see the benefits of that in the next few weeks. The aim now is you've got Southampton. We've got a bit of a break now till Southampton, which is nice. We've got no League Cup football to play in between then as well, which is also nice. Obviously, the FA Cup game that will come, and then we've got Man United on the horizon. It feels very similar to the build-up to the Tottenham game, this was. And if you recall, this is the problem, is that everyone's looking around going, it's like reading Mr. Jelly. It's like everyone's looking around and getting scared, like jumping at shadows. Everyone's like, Tottenham Hotspur, oh my God, Tottenham Hotspur, and we turned up against Tottenham Hotspur and we beat them and we went top of the league.
Yeah.
We've got Man United on the horizon. There's a good chance that they beat Villa in their next game. There's a good chance maybe we struggle against Southampton because of the form we've been in. That's a possibility, and it means that it is actually a straight shootout for top of the league at that point. Whereas, I mean, again, even if we were to drop points against Southampton and United beat Villa, it's still they still got that much vaunted game in hand, but it wouldn't be enough to. They're not going to be running clear.
I'll
at
leave
any
you with
point.
this, Paul. We've had 16 games in the league so far, and hopefully there's 22 where we've got Thiago available.
Yeah.
Because we'll be better than the 16 that we've played so far.
And again, even if he doesn't play all 22, if he's just able to come in and help out, it's these games are the games I think we definitely need him for at this point. It's the game, low block sides, when you need someone to pick apart, and the evidence that we've seen, the limited evidence of Thiago, that he's the best midfielder on the planet and the best footballer I've ever seen.
By a mile. By a fucking mile, mate.
So
and he's not even match fit.
Fingers crossed on all of that. But no, I feel all right. I feel deflated. I feel a bit disappointed because I think I said this last week, I said this for a week, the world's shit, and Liverpool have been our fucking hope, our shiner. We got to see us win the league in the worst fucking possible situation our lives could be in around all that. It's a lot of pressure to put on 11 fellas. We're back to that. We used to have that. We've always felt that. My moods have always been linked to how good Liverpool are. I'm always in a worse mood when Liverpool don't win. But the time was Liverpool never used to win very much. And now we're the fucking best team in the country. We're one of the best teams on the planet. So, I kind of have to be able to shrug it off a little bit when it doesn't go well and trust that it will come out on top, because I would suggest that if we're still in this position where we are now, despite all the hardships that we've gone through in terms of fitness and injuries and all that, when Man United are having the most stellar season that they've had in fucking years and we're still ahead of them in the league, it's probably going to be all right, isn't it?
I think so, mate. I really do.
I think so too. Right. Yes, thank you so much for watching and for listening to this. Oh, actually, sorry, I have one super chat actually before we go from John McGrath. It says, think we need a formation switch to make the movement more fluid between Mane and Salah like they were a season or two ago, maybe 4-2-3-1. With Thiago in, 4-2-3-1?
I don't know. I'm not sure we do. I think the training time has a big impact in this season, doesn't it? I think, I think the 4-2-3-1 probably suits Thiago more, but does it suit the other 10 players that he's playing with more? Probably not. So let the world-class lad work it out rather than ask the other 10 lads to change.
Yeah.
He'll find a place and he'll slot in and he'll be absolutely fine. He's not going to be asked to be a box-to-box midfielder. I think I can see that now. He's going to sit there and go, you're attacking this side, you get on your fucking bike. Because that's what he said to Robbo and Sen tonight. He came on and went, get on your fucking bike, lad. And why aren't you on your bike early enough?
Runs. Everyone make runs and I'll find one of you. He quarterbacks it, doesn't he? You know what I mean? It's like...
That one where he dinked it over to Mo Salah. Mo Salah was looking around going, fucking hell, I'm all right. I'll fucking get on my bike, lad. Sound.
Yeah, more of that, please, Jürgen. More of that, please, Thiago. Listen, thanks very much. Drop a like if you're on YouTube. Yeah, leave a 5-star review if you're listening on podcasting apps. And if you want more from us, the Final Word show tomorrow, 60 minutes, where we'll talk a lot more about the wonder that is Thiago Alcantara and a few bits and pieces more from that match as well. So if you need more uplifting Liverpool-related content, then go to theredmentv.com and sign up, and we shall see you over there. Ta-ra.